watching Music Talk Now, the Good News Music Show. We're your host. I'm Jennifer Mahan.
And I'm Gary Garner. And I hope you stay with us because today we got a fantastic program.
We've got all kinds of wonderful music information for you and a couple of special guests.
Yeah, they're from CASA, which is
Court-appointed special advocates for
children.
We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
United Way is about impacting lives and producing life-changing results. 1 in every 3 people is impacted by the United Way. Thank you for your investing in our community by giving to the United Way of Odessa.
Well, there is one dreaded fear among musicians as they accumulate frequent flyer miles to their various venues. The question is, will their beloved instrument arrive unharmed and arrive on time or at all? Well, yes. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, on March the 6th, 2015, musicians who board planes must be allowed to carry on their instruments provided they fit in the overhead bin. Now, I've known several people that have, had this very issue, and the horror stories are just crazy concerning this. So.
Hey, what if you got a tuba or a cello?
Right. So, this is great news, very comforting for musicians that travel with instruments. But there are a few stipulations. Now, the instrument, if it doesn't fit in the overhead bin, then the musician is permitted to purchase an additional seat in which they can safely secure their musical companion. Now, we know that overhead bins are a first-come, first-served basis, and the airline is not required to give precedence to an instrument over other carry-on baggage. So if there's no room, then you'll have to check it at the gate after all. So to remedy this catastrophe, if it may happen, the DOT suggests that musicians pay the airline's fee for priority boarding to ensure that there will be room for their dear melodic friend.
Well, yeah.
Yes, good news.
I mean, my word.
For additional information, now you can review the Transportation Security Administration's Guide for Traveling with Musical Instruments, and I would suggest you do that if you have any questions.
Yes.
Now, there's no doubt that this digital age has changed the way the music industry operates, and BMI and ASCAP are 2 advocacy groups that have been working with the U.S. Department of Justice for the legislative changes that are needed to protect songwriters and publishers. They've been working very hard to do this. Now, BMI has filed a submission in response to the Antitrust Division of the U.S. Department of Justice request for public comments as part of its review of BMI's consent decree. And here's a quote. "The time has come to modernize the BMI consent decree. We appreciate the U.S. Department of Justice solicitation of public comments as part of the modernization process. And our goal is to better serve our affiliates and music users. And the DOJ's request facilitates an industry-wide open dialogue needed for critical reforms." And this was said by Mike O'Neill, who is the BMI president and CEO. Now, the 3 proposed changes that are in BMI's submission do include digital rights withdrawal, binding rights, bundling rights, arbitration. BMI Senior Vice President and General Counsel Stuart Rawson said, "Our proposed modifications to the decree will benefit not only our affiliates, but the rights marketplace in general. While we feel that there are additional important modifications necessary to modernize the decree, the proposals in the filing are the most urgent, and we believe that we need to address these on a faster timetable." I agree. Things are changing and we need protection. So to submit your comments and sign up for updates on this issue, you can click on the Changes Now link at bmi.com. Now, in music news, Cher and Motley Crue have scheduled their farewell tours this year. 2 greats in the music industry, and you can get your concert locations, times, and tickets at Ticketmaster.com. I saw them on Fox News the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, Motley Crue. They were with them. Well, it was sad. I liked Motley Crue.
Yeah.
So,
I
hate to see them go. But, as with many farewell tours, they're not always farewell. But in any event, you can get your farewell tickets this year. Just go to Ticketmaster. And Dolly Parton in the movies. Yes, please. According to CMT, even though Dolly's latest tour is over, fans need not despair. NBC just announced their plans to make her life and her songs into a collection of 2-hour made-for-TV movies. In a press release, NBC Entertainment Chairman Robert Greenblatt said, "I don't know anyone in the world who doesn't love Dolly Parton. And the idea of developing television movies inspired by her incredible life and the stories she's sung about for decades is exciting to all of us at NBC." And of course, Dolly is also excited about the project, stating, "We want to create projects for NBC that are both fun and inspirational with the family audience in mind."
That'll be a difference.
Yes, we need more programming like that.
Yes, we do.
Now, counting down last week's Billboard Hot 100 songs. They are number 10, All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor. Number 9 is Jealous by Nick Jonas. Number 8, new on the top 10, is Sugar by Maroon 5. Number 7, I'm Not the Only One, Sam Smith. 6, Lips Are Moving, again by Meghan Trainor. 5, Shake It Off, Taylor Swift. 4, Take Me to Church by Hozier. 3, Blank Space by Taylor Swift. 2, Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. And number 1, Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. And don't forget, you can view all of the Billboard charts at Billboard.com.
Looking for some fun? Go Diamonds. Diamond Lanes at 2208 East 8th Street. Family fun abounds, and ask about our league play. You've never bowled? Well, come on out and we'll show you how much fun you can have. Diamond Lanes, 2208 East 8th, or call us at 580-4386. That's Diamond Lanes.
And music news from Texas. According to the Texas Music Administrators Conference, the website, that's TMAC, this is an organization of music and fine arts administrators whose goal is the pursuit of excellence in music education for all Texas students. Now, some of the events they hold, you'd have to be a member, which means you would have to be a music fine arts administrator or be responsible for supervising music activities in your district.
Okay.
I believe that they will be hosting a summer roundtable session in San Antonio on Monday in July the 28th. And apparently everyone's invited, so visit their website for more information. Now, from the Texas Music Business News, Friendswood High School, now that's just east of Galveston,
Okay.
has 10 members who will perform with the Texas All-State Band and 5 who will perform with the All-State Choir.
That's great.
That'll also be in San Antonio on February 14th, which, by the way, that's Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Will
And
you be
they'll
my
be at
Valentine?
They'll be at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, and this is quite an honor. And congratulations to all the students who qualified.
Yes, congratulations.
Okay. Now, from Texas Tech University School of Music, upcoming events for our friends in Lubbock, and for those who might just want to travel up to Lubbock, at the Hami Recital Hall, that's at Texas Tech.
Yes.
On February 6th, there'll be a concert by Sound Encounters. Now, I don't have a clue who they are, but
Encounters
if they're
of the
going to
sound
be at
kind.
Texas Tech, they got to be pretty good. Now, also on February 8th, the Celtic Ensemble Winter Concert will be held.
Oh, I love Celtic music.
That is fantastic.
Of course, I'm Irish, so, you know.
Yeah, well, I understand.
Comes natural.
Now, over in Fort Worth, the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra will be performing Romeo and Juliet on February 13th, 14th, and 15th, and that'll be at the Bass Performance Hall. And just a little east, there's a community we call Dallas. Okay?
Just a little
And
community.
On Saturday, February 21st, Disney in concert will be performed at the Morton Meyerson Symphony Center.
Oh, much fun.
Now, locally, a lot of people don't know this, but at UTPB Music Department, at their website, they host a tremendous amount of workshops throughout the year.
Yes.
Workshops like the All-Region Brass and woodwind and string workshops. So if you're interested in getting to be a part of this, check their website out
Absolutely.
for more information.
It's good to be skilled.
Oh, yeah.
And workshops are a big part of
you-
learning to be skilled.
Oh, you betcha. That teaches you a lot of things that, and there's a lot I don't know, believe it or not.
Yeah. You know, even King David in the Bible said, be skilled when you're playing music.
See, there
Yeah.
I failed all over then, haven't I? Okay, now straight from the Midland Odessa Symphony and Chorale, it's wonderful, it's marvelous, it's Gershon, directed by Gary Lewis. And they'll be performing on Saturday, March 7th at 7:30 p.m. at the Wagner Noel Performing Arts Center.
That is a state-of-the-art performance center.
Now,
Beautiful.
Some news from the Texas Regional Radio Report, the top 10 Texas tunes
All right.
being listened to today, okay?
Let's hear
Number
'em.
10, Hold On and Let Go by Sam Riggs. Number 9, My Dear by T.J. Austin. Number 8, Turn That Crown Upside Down by Kyle Parks. And number 7, She's Gonna Run by Randy Rogers Band. Number 6, Baby Don't Cry by Curtis Grimes. Number 5, The Girl I Knew by Reckless Woman. Number 4, Sympathy, I've got a lot of, by William Clark Green. Number 3, Roadshow by Roger Traeger. Number 2, That Look by Aaron Watson. Number 1 song heard around Texas, Hanging Around by the John Abbott Band.
You know, I think Texas has got the biggest play on words when it comes to music titles.
Now, just a little music history.
Yes.
Number 1 on the United Kingdom charts in 1961 was Elvis singing Are You Lonesome Tonight?
That's my hero. And yes,
And number 1 right here on the U.S. singles, the Rooftop Singers singing Walk Right In
walk right in.
and Sit Right Down. Oh, okay. And that's music news from Texas.
Thank you, Gary. That was fun.
United Way is about impacting lives and producing life-changing results. 1 in every 3 people is impacted by the United Way. Thank you for your investing in our community by giving to the United Way of Odessa.
Do you like bluegrass music?
I love bluegrass music.
I do too. In fact, do you like banjos?
I love banjo music.
Well, you know, you mostly hear it in bluegrass and folk music.
Yes.
It's got a very unique sound. I personally like it's 5-stringed instrument. You know, from what I understand, it's pretty difficult to play.
Well, yeah, because I've watched them try to, and I can't do it.
Yeah. So anyway, banjo is a very unique instrument. So I have a Q&A for you today.
That's a question and answer.
That's a question
All
and
right.
answer, and you do not know the answer ahead
No,
of time.
I don't.
I promise you this. So, a interesting fact about the banjo. I have a little question here. Do you know where the earliest forms of the banjo originated? And I'll give you 3 choices.
Okay.
Africa, the Appalachian Mountains of the United States, or Israel. Dum, dum, dum.
I'm going to say Africa.
And you're right. I'm surprised.
guessed.
I'm really shocked, but you are right.
I guessed.
Yes. And not a lot of people knew that. See, I learned this years ago from a man. He's actually an international speaker and an authority on sound and music. His name is Ray Hughes. And he gave me that fact. And, of course, I backed it up through Wikipedia and all these other places to make sure it was totally accurate. And it is. But the original came from Africa.
I would not have. I guessed it. I really did.
Well,
I
you
had
guessed well.
I had
because-
no idea.
Well, you know, that Appalachian sound that has a lot of folk and bluegrass and in that. Also, Israel, you know, King David really made most of the instruments that we know worldwide. He did back in Psalms. But, I mean, yes, we can attribute most things to him.
Well, when I read that, they were just blowing on ram's horns.
No, there were all kinds of
Oh, okay.
instruments that he created.
All right.
But Africa is where the sound of the banjo originated. And what happened was the Africans, as they began to colonize the United States, they brought that with them
Okay.
and then, you know, tweaked and everything. So we have the banjo as we know today.
And then we just took it away from them.
Well,
Showed them how to play
I
it.
showed them how to play it. I don't know.
I can't play it, but I've seen some people that could, you know.
So, what'd you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Outside of going to our church and being involved in it and taking a nap Sunday afternoon, I didn't do a whole lot.
You know, there's something about Sundays that just scream, I must lay before my bed.
Yes.
Well, I went to the Carrie Job concert at First Baptist Church here in Odessa.
How was it?
Fabulous.
I missed it.
It was, you know, it really wasn't a concert. It was a night of worship. And it was just so spectacular.
Did a fantastic job.
Oh, she did. And,
yeah.
and that facility, the new
Did you
sanctuary.
get, it's in the new part?
Yes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was just great.
Well, I was watching them
Way to
build
go.
that for quite
Yeah.
a while. And
So I was anxious to check that out. It was just great. It was packed. So that was a very, very successful night.
standing room only?
Yes. In fact, I was one of the standing room only. I had fallen down the steps at church earlier in the morning.
Did you do that on purpose?
No,
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
do it on purpose. But
Just-
so I was a little sore and a little slow getting around. So I was a little late. So yeah, I had to stand up. But it was a great concert. And you know, we've got several other things church-wise that I'd like to mention
Okay.
and plug them. At Full Gospel Covenant Church, which is located at 7500 West 10th Street here in Odessa, they will be hosting guest speaker and author Dale Everett on March the 1st and the 2nd. And the times for that are on March 1st, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., and on the 2nd, 7 p.m. Are you familiar with Aglow International?
No.
It is a women's, international women, which now includes men, a ministry that operates in 172 nations of the world.
What's the name of it?
Aglow International. And actually, I'm a part of that here in the Midwest Texas area. And it was started by 4 praying women in a basement over 40 years ago. And God birthed out of that this international ministry, and it's just wonderful. But they've got the local Aglow chapter here, Odessa International. Aglow, Texas, has guest speaker and international recording artist Terry Tripp coming. Are you familiar with the Tripp family, Laverne Tripp?
I've heard of them, yes.
Yes, they used to be on TBN all the
Yeah.
time performing and very well known. Well, Terry, and we've had him before, he's awesome. He's going to be back, and of course, he's just as good a minister as he is a singer, really he is.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that
so-
helps. If you're going to do both.
Absolutely. And so that's going to be February the 9th at 6 o'clock p.m. And again, Full Gospel Covenant Church will be hosting the Aglow meeting at 7500 West 10th Street. So, also, speaking about Aglow, and I'm going to this conference. I'm very excited about it.
All right.
They're in South Padre Island, Texas. The South Texas Aglow, so we have Aglow has chapters all over the United States, but they're all under, one international ministry, and then they go abroad. So it's just so widespread.
So this is South Padre Island
Yes.
during hurricane season.
February 20th through the 21st. Is
Oh,
that
okay.
hurricane season? I hope
no,
not, because
you'll
I'm going
miss
to be
the
there.
hurricanes.
But they're going to host the Carry His Presence Conference, and their guest speaker is going to be Johnny Enlow. And he is also an international speaker. He wrote the book, The 7 Mountains of Influence, and about government and education, religion, family, all of these mountains that have gotten corrupt and how to take them back.
There you go.
Yes, so I'm excited about that. So that's 3:30 p.m. starting on February 20th, and that will be held at the Hilton Garden Inn in South Padre Island.
Sounds like fun.
I'm going to not take my bikini, so.
I wouldn't either, not in February. Not a good plan.
So what's
okay?
going on in the schools?
Yes. Well, right now, the Odessa High School band members are still trying to make a trip to New York City.
Yes.
They're supposed to perform and play at Carnegie Hall. And
exciting.
there's 9 students from OHS,
Okay.
and they're taking one from Permian High School.
Okay.
Okay. They're still planning on going, and if you would like to help with the funding, you can call 432-456-2026. Now, they're trying to go to Carnegie Hall to represent West Texas. What a fantastic idea.
Absolutely. So we need to get behind them 100% and help those kids get there.
Yes, he did.
I do believe that, what is the old song? Kids are the future.
Well, they are.
And they are. and we've got to support them.
You betcha we do. I mean, that's, we need them to get out there, get a job, work,
Yes.
pay into Social Security so I can go ahead and continue my retirement, okay?
Well, that's one of the things about supporting the arts, especially in school, is it gives kids something to do, and it keeps them out of trouble, and it exercises their brain and helps their creative side to flow.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's so
and then I
important.
heard, now, and this was on the Huckabee show,
Okay.
okay? And he was talking about that students, our children, who are involved with music of any type, were more successful than those that are not.
Yes, I believe that 100%.
And because it gives them an interest, something that they can pursue,
Yes.
and a goal that they can pursue, and how important it is to young people's lives to have that influence.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Yes.
You know, here at the West Texas Music Association and Music Talk Now, we have this event going on. We've been telling you about it, called Songwriters for a Cause. And we are good news, and we love to help promote good news organizations like the United Way.
Yeah, now there's 22 organizations that the United Way helps.
Yes.
Okay. And tonight we'll be visiting with one of them.
Yes.
But this is a songwriting video type thing that,
Well, what we need are volunteers that are songwriters to get with us and write songs for these great causes. And the perk for that is we're going to have a concert with all the songs, and the winner is going to win $500. So that's a wonderful opportunity to do something worthy, get some cash, and, if you're interested, get with us.
pursue your goals.
Absolutely.
You got it.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to two special guests with one of these organizations, CASA. Welcome back. We love to promote good news and good news organizations. And so today we have two special guests with us. We have Lynn White and Monique Mercer from CASA, which is the Court-Appointed Special Advocates. So ladies, thank you for being with us today. Can you tell us what CASA is?
Yes, CASA is a nonprofit organization that stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. And we get volunteers from all spectrums of life, and we help them and train them to represent kids that are in foster care's best interest in the courtroom.
Now these people are not paid, is that correct?
Absolutely, it's all volunteer.
And that's what makes it so important, is no one can sway them one way or another.
Absolutely, exactly right. In fact, that our volunteers are so wonderful in that aspect is that a lot of our kids are not placed close by here because we don't have enough foster homes, and so they will go and travel to wherever our kids are on their own dime and their own time.
Right.
Okay, and is there an average age for
Yes.
the foster or the,
For the volunteers,
yeah, for the
21 years or older
Okay.
have to be able to pass a background check, just like anyone else.
Okay.
But basically, the biggest thing we're looking for is they have to have a love for kids.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a training program they have to go through and this type of thing?
We actually have a training coming up in March, and if anybody is interested, they can contact our office, and we will have an application and an interview. There is a process to go through before we start the training.
And will they speak with you? You are the volunteer coordinator,
Yes.
is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And they can find this in the phone book under what?
They can find it online. It's CASA Permian Basin.
Okay.
All right.
So you do have a website too?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
It's CASAPBA.org.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
how do you get your funding?
We get it from a lot of different areas, a lot from United Way,
Mhm.
and we have a fundraiser called Best of Both Worlds, and it's coming up on March 28th.
Okay.
And what it is, it's a chili cook-off with exotic beers, and then also wine with different kind of hors d'oeuvres. And
And that is the best of both worlds.
it really is. That's what we think so too. So it's March 28th, and so that's the exciting time. And then also we get it from Texas CASA, from VOCA, which is Victims of Crime, and then CDC, which is Crime Victims Coalition money.
Okay, very good. Well,
And how long have you been involved in this?
The Casa of the Permian Basin, which we cover 5 counties, which besides Ector, we cover Loving, Ward, Winkler, Crane, is that 5? Or Winkler, isn't it pitiful? But yes, so but our biggest bulk is here in Ector County.
right.
So I've been with this for 6 years, but we've been here 20 years.
And you are the executive director.
Yes, ma'am.
That's correct. Now, I understand that Ector County has the second highest rate of children in foster care. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, it's really it's sort of sad, but it's also sort of a positive note that because of our 5 counties, Ector we obviously have the largest amount of kids going into foster care, and we have the second highest rate per capita of kids going into foster care in the state of Texas, right behind Harris County.
Okay.
But I always like to put a positive spin on that. Is that I think most of these people love kids so much they want to report, and so
Yes.
we do need to report if there is abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, whatever. That I think that we're really good about doing that.
Do you get a lot of reports from school?
We get a kind of a cross section from everybody. I mean, teachers, the religious side, parents. I mean, it's just kind of across the board.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very good. Now, I understand you have some more events coming up. There's some in April, May, and November.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Do you want to talk about April?
Actually, in April, we have our, it is Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Okay.
And there's a lot of awareness, something that we're putting just an emphasis on people just being on the outlook and just looking out and seeing what's going on, their
Yes,
surroundings
being
around
willing to report. That is so important because this stuff happens all the time,
Right.
every day.
It does.
And there's so many kids that have no voice.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly
And
right.
so we so appreciate what you do.
Well,
It's
thank
a
you.
wonderful organization.
And then in May,
Yes.
comes up it's called PAL, which is Preparation for Adult Living. And so all the kids that are graduating from this whole area, I mean from Midland, San Angelo, all of our counties, we put on a big graduation for them
Okay.
and celebrate that because it's a big
Yes.
feat for them to do that. And then in November is our National Adoption Month, and that's a very rewarding time too. That's when kids that couldn't be placed back with their parents or maybe with a relative or someone else, is that if they're adopted, that they go through this. And it's a wonderful time. I mean, it's a very emotional time. All the judges come and they're given a plate, but they go through the whole process, and the kids are just thrilled. So it's a neat time.
That's wonderful. Gary, you have any more questions for them?
No, I think we've covered a bunch
think
of
we
it.
have.
You don't know how much we appreciate
Yes.
what you all do.
And of course, you've seen that, being, with the Sheriff's Department for
Well,
so
I
many
know,
years, how
uh,
important it is to have advocates like this.
You
for
betcha,
the
because
children.
somebody's got to speak up for those
Right.
that can't
Absolutely.
speak up for
That's
themselves.
right. Yeah. And my main deal is I want people to realize is that you don't need to be a lawyer. You don't need to be anything. We will train you on how to be a volunteer. It's that you have to have a love for kids.
Yes.
And the other thing is that most people, when they think about volunteering, it's more like maybe going and stuffing envelopes or whatever. Our volunteers commit for a year to year and a half because that's how long it takes the kids to go through the court system. So
Okay.
it's a commitment, but also it's the hardest fun job I would think that a volunteer could do.
Very rewarding.
Yes.
Very
Okay. And they can get in touch with you at www.casapba.org
Yes.
or call you directly at 432-498-4174. Again, ladies, thank you.
Thank
CASA
you.
is a wonderful cause. They need volunteers. They need funds. They have all kinds of things going on. So please check them out. We'll be right back.
Looking for some fun? Go Diamonds. Diamond Lanes at 2208 East 8th Street. Family fun abounds, and ask about our league play. You've never bowled? Well, come on out and we'll show you how much fun you can have. Diamond Lanes, 2208 East 8th, or call us at 580-4386. That's Diamond Lanes.
I want to thank our special guest from CASA for being with us today. I really enjoyed getting to know more about that organization.
It's fantastic, and of
It
course they're
is.
out there to protect the children.
Yes, they are. So thank you.
Yes.
Now, here at Music Talk Now, part of what we do is educate you on the music business. So, not everybody knows how the business of music works. And
It's not just get up and sing a song and get paid.
no, there's
No.
a whole lot more to do. I mean, I guess you could do that. That would be extremely elementary. So, for those that really want a career in the music business, you need to know how it works. And one of the things that people are very misinformed about is
Copyright laws.
copyrights.
Okay.
In fact, you're learning a lot about copyrights.
I'm trying to learn a lot about it. Fixing to learn a little bit more, I think. But
well, I thought that a good way to start with this, I got on the copyright, U.S. copyright
just
page, web page. It's actually copyright.gov. You can get there. And I looked up their frequently asked questions. And so I figured if they're frequently asked, then
people need to know.
people need to know.
No, right.
So we're just going to kind of go through some of those
Okay.
and give you that information.
Yeah, what is a copyright?
Well, the definition of a copyright, according to copyright.gov, is copyright is a form of protection grounded in the United States Constitution and granted by law for original works of authorship fixed in a tangible medium of expression. Is that clear?
No. Haven't got a clue what you said.
Well, we'll move on to this one. What a copyright protects is the original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works such as poetry, novels, songs, movies, computer software, and architecture.
They even cover computer software now.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Well, that makes a little more sense.
Now, a copyright will not protect an idea, okay, or a system, or a method of operation. Is that clear?
No. But that's all right. We'll get there. How's a copyright different from a patent or a trademark? Yeah.
Well, a copyright is different. Like we said, a copyright protects authorships, right?
Okay, that's
So-
if you write something,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, say you wrote a song or somebody wrote a book, then you would have that under the copyright laws. It would be protected. Now, if you had an invention or an idea, say some type of machine, well, you couldn't copyright that because that's an authorship. It's an idea, so you would have to get a U.S. patent on
That's
that.
not like the cotton gin.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then a trademark is even different from that. What do you think a trademark is?
That's something that's stamped on a tool.
Well, in essence, I like to use, Chick-fil-A. When you
Yeah.
see the logo, you know it's Chick-fil-A. That's their trademark. And
Yes.
so you have to get a trademark for that. So they all differ just a little bit.
Like Coca-Cola's got
Yeah,
a trademark.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, when's my work protected?
Well, your work is under copyright protection the moment it is created in a fixed, tangible form. So what that means is, say you write a song, which you actually just did. I'm so
Yes.
proud of you. It's his first song. It's great. The minute you get through writing your song and you have it in tangible form,
That's something you could read.
yes,
Okay.
okay,
All right.
then basically you have that copyright. Okay?
But you still, if it's copyrighted, do I have to go ahead and register it with the office?
You don't have to, okay? For you to have your copyright, you do not have to register it with the Copyright Office. However, if you want it protected in events of lawsuits, okay, someone steals your work and you need to combat that.
Okay.
If you do not have it registered with the Copyright Office and you have your registered number, your receipt, all of these things for your authorship work, then it's more than likely not going to hold up for you in court.
Well, now I've had people tell me that they've mailed themselves, something back where they've got it stamped.
That's called a poor boy's copyright.
Yeah, it won't hold up in court.
No.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
kind of get what you pay for. So,
it's better to register your work
yes.
because copyright protection, you need it.
Yes, you need it. You absolutely do. And another thing, when you do register your work with the Copyright Office, is all of your information becomes public record. Okay, so you need to know that. There's a lot of authors of books that don't put their real name.
And that's why.
They use a AKA, yes. And you can do that when you register your work at the Copyright Office. That's okay. Because it is public record.
Well, I could use the guy down the street that I don't like. Okay,
Well-
is my copyright good in other countries?
Well, the United States has copyright relations with most countries. And as a general rule, they do try to honor that between countries. But they don't have relations with every country. So your best bet in finding out your answer is to go to copyright.gov and look at the countries that we do have good relations with concerning copyright laws.
All right.
So we hope that you have learned something concerning that.
And you know, if they have questions, we have a website.
We do.
And if you'll just, if you want to know anything, any information on anything, any music subject,
Yes.
let us know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll find out about it.
And our website's down there at the bottom of the screen, so you can be sure not to miss it. Now, you know what? There are a lot of seminars and workshops across the country that are going to be happening. And it's good for you to know if you're in that area to become a part of that, because you get really detailed information about the business and songwriting and publishing and all of those great things. So, February the 19th in Los Angeles is the BMI 101. It's a 1-hour introductory workshop for writers and publishers, and it covers history of performing rights, the origins of BMI, and the current role BMI plays in the complex world of the music industry. So don't want to miss that one. It will take place in BMI's Los Angeles office, 8730 Sunset Boulevard, from 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. And again, that's February the 19th. Also, attendance is free for that, but space is limited. So if you're interested, RSVP to BMI101 at BMI.com. Also, with ASCAP, they're having their 10th annual I Create Music Expo. I love expos. It's just great. ASCAP's signature event is going to include keynote interviews, master classes, and performances from top ASCAP members representing all genres of music. And that's going to happen Thursday, April 30th of 2015, and Saturday through Saturday, May 2nd, 2015, at the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel there in Hollywood, California.
Hey, I've been there.
Have you now? I have too.
Betcha. Yes.
Did you meet anybody famous?
No,
No.
no. I saw some stars in the sidewalks.
Uh-huh. Kind of the way it goes sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Bit of a bummer. And last but not least is the Music Tech and Future Summit. And what this does is it teaches you how to mix technology and music and with the ever-changing digital age. So that will happen also Thursday, February 19th in Nashville, Tennessee.
I've been there too.
I have too. I lived there for a little while. It was a lot of fun.
Lucky. It's a pretty place.
Yes, it is. All right.
Till
stay
it gets
with us.
underwater.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Okay.
United Way is about impacting lives and producing life-changing results. 1 in every 3 people is impacted by the United Way. Thank you for your investing in our community by giving to the United Way of Odessa.
And Jennifer, I understand that you've written a song.
Yes, I have. And, we had CASA on today.
Yes.
And so we're really making an awareness for children, especially abused children, kids that have lost their way,
Oh, I know. And what's the name of the song?
The song is called Who Will Cry Out for the Children. And I wrote this several years ago, and we're actually going to show a video. Bruce Beard, our producer here, helped us to make this video.
And what inspired you to
Well, it's a really interesting story. I write music, and I love to write all kinds of music, and I love to write gospel music. But on my way to work one morning, I was praying, and I said, God, I don't want to write songs just to write songs. I want to know what you're saying and what your heart is, and I want to take what's in your heart, and I want to declare it here in the earth.
Right.
And so I just gave that real heartfelt, short prayer to him. It's like, I want to be open to hear what you're saying. And I got to work, and I was doing invoices at my desk, and I happened to have a one-person office, which was great for times like this. And it was it was an experience for me, Gary, that I have never experienced. All of a sudden, it was like an bombardment. It was so urgent, and it was so aggressive. And it was just, who will cry out for the children? Who will cry out for the children? it wouldn't stop. And I love children. I believe in children's causes. But as far as a personal burden for me, I've not ever been that involved.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
so
makes
it's not
sense.
something out of my own expression that I would come up with, per se. But it got so intense that I finally said, okay, Lord, I hear you. And I put aside my stuff and I got out my notepad, and it took 10 minutes to write this song. And he just began to download this to me. And what's so unique about it is it addresses lost kids, hurt children, people that have no voice, people that have strayed. But what he does is he gives you an answer. And I say he, I wrote it, but he wrote it through me, you know, of what to do. Because we need boots on the ground. We need people like Casa. We need people
That'll stand
speaking
up
up
for
for these
yes.
kids. But we also, by gosh, we need to pray. And
That's
we
it.
need to declare God's word and his promises concerning them. And so basically that's what God presented was the problem and the answer.
The answer.
Yes.
Well, you know, in God's word it says real simple, to be still
Yeah.
and know that I am God.
Absolutely.
And that's what you did.
You ask him, he'll speak.
That's
You just
it.
gotta
You know, the
wait.
difference between what real faith is not knowing that God can do something. It's knowing that God will
Absolutely.
do something.
That's right.
And that makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
All right.
So anyway, we have this video. And
Who will cry out for the children? A generation that's been tossed aside. They are crying to be seen and be heard. Yet they are crying from the darkness of night. And who will cry out for the children who were fashioned by God's mighty hand? They are crying for something to save them. They do not know the blood of the Lamb. If this is the feet generation, then how can the mighty hold? How can we march for your kingdom with so many that are lost? And who will cry out for the children glory of the Lord. And this is the generation, the heritage of the Lord. Oh, it is the heritage of the Lord. We will cry out for the truth. We will cry out for the children. We will cry out for the children. We will cry out for the We will cry out for the children. We will cry out for the children, Lord. We will cry out for the children. We will cry out for the children.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was very inspiring, very
Thank you.
moving,
Thank you.
okay? And if that doesn't wake people up, I don't know what will.
Well, I hope it will help people to be proactive.
They need to get up off their duff and get busy.
That's right.
That's what we got to do, okay?
Very appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being with us today here on Music Talk Now. Remember to always be courageous, be confident, and never forget that with God, all things are possible to those who believe.
And as Hans Christian Andersen said, where words fail, music speaks. And if you lack love, you lack life. This is Gary Garner saying, see you next week.